It is 8 o'clock on the dot. I'm first warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week, just about as much as we can. Chat about what's going on in the world of weather. Grab a cup of coffee. I'm drinking my protein shake as I do on the weekends. And hopefully get your day started off not only updated in the world of weather, but also hopefully on the right note. Top two things we are monitoring today. Your full Sunday forecast and tracking the tropics. There's not much there in the Gulf of Mexico. What are you talking about, Burris? Well, we'll take a look. All coming up today on Coffee Talk. But before we get to all of that, let's just look outside live, see what's doing on our Tower Cam network. There's Spaceship Earth. I showed that just a couple of moments ago on TV. There's a look at Maitland, downtown Orlando, looking great. Over to the shoreline we go. Cocoa, beautiful. Kennedy Space Center is beautiful. Temperatures are now in the 70s and 80s. Yeah, it's a warm, muggy start. Of course, we are cycling temperatures on the bottom of your screen. In terms of rainfall, our first warning live Doppler radar is already tracking some showers out on the Gulf Coast. There's not anything too heavy. Did have a couple of rumbles of thunder earlier, but that's that. We're pretty good, frankly, across the area. You can see, though, around Donnell and the Villages, Rutland, you're probably seeing some darker skies on your horizon. That's exactly what we're tracking. But nothing too bad. All right, let's talk about that forecast, shall we? Across the area today, we are headed into the mid-90s. It's going to be hot, not as hot as yesterday. We hit 97 degrees in Orlando yesterday. We hit 97 in DeLand. We hit 97 degrees in Daytona Beach. Yesterday was a tied record in Daytona Beach, which I don't ever, frankly, like to talk about because those are rough days. Ugh. Man, I love that. Good morning to you, Janice. Alan, how are you? Marie, good morning. We missed you, Nerd Commander-in-Chief Jessica, good morning. Jennifer, Barbie, Marie, good morning to y'all. Taylor, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Leonard, good morning, good morning. Yukon, have a great day to you. Christine, I hope you're having a great morning. Mike says, I'll be heading down to Disney Springs here around 10-ish to do a little bit of shopping and then heading to Magic Kingdom. Hopefully it's not too bad weather today. Well, notice first off that by lunchtime we're already in that 20 to 30 to 40% coverage. So rains are going to start earlier today, and frankly by 3 o'clock we're doing pretty stormy. We're going to keep it through about 5 o'clock, and then little by little we'll kind of taper that off. So let me dial up. We just got a brand new run of Futurecast. Let's look hour by hour, and right off the top, just notice there's rain out west. Can confirm that is an accurate depiction. 9, 10 o'clock, still with the rain out west, though it may try to sneak in little by little, all right? I brought Futurecast full just because I want you to see it as clearly as possible. 11, 12 o'clock, notice we're already starting to see some rains marching into the metro area. All right, so there's that. There's that to deal with. But it doesn't look too strong, at least not that first little wave. Now there's 1 o'clock and you can see the rains over Marion County. There's the West Coast sea breeze. According to Futurecast, the stronger stuff actually misses the metro and kind of goes around the metro, working over toward Brevard County. There's 4 p.m. thunderstorms in Brevard, 4:30, 5 o'clock storms in Brevard, and then kind of gradually tapering off. So good news if you are wanting to be out and about today, which, you know, I think we could all take some good news. If you're heading out to Volcano Bay, for example, that's certainly one spot you could go to. Why not? The showers and storms will be around, so just keep your head on a swivel. Keep your eyes around if you're heading to the Magic Kingdom, whatever the case may be. If you're heading to the beaches today, it all ends up your direction late this afternoon, so get out a little early, right? Right? Rips, moderate risk today. Swim at guarded beaches. Surf breaking 1 to 2 offshore seas for the boaters, running about 2 to 3, and water temperatures are in the mid-80s. That is a lovely Lovely forecast. All right, let's talk about what's going on. Okay, so our weather picture dominated, believe it or not, by this storm system up to the north. It's an old cold front, and winds are kind of feeding into that. So what we're doing is we're piling most of the moisture up in our northern areas. So for today, do want to point out there is a low-end threat for flooding, especially northern areas, but it really extends, if I'm honest, it really extends beyond that. I think that the threat for flooding is going to predominantly be a panhandle kind of thing today, but it's all that section because of that old front, okay? Now, the next couple of days, we continue to watch that front just do its thing. But sometimes you get these fronts just kind of hanging out and hanging out. And as they hang out, they start to develop little pieces of energy. And those pieces of energy sometimes make their way out over warm water. Cold front and tropics in the same sentence? As interesting as it may sound, yes, it's a cold front strictly by definition. But, you know, models are starting to hint that this front may bubble up a little piece of energy. Now, we're in the vicinity of the Florester. I'm not saying that this is the Florester recycling. If you followed our long-range forecasting, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, then you have no idea, and that's fine. We'll explain. These next couple of days, I can tell you based on experience alone, you know, if you look at the month of June, we are not in June, but if you look at the month of June, where do you watch tropical development? The Gulf of Mexico. Where in July do you watch for tropical development? Among other areas, the Gulf of Mexico. We have not yet gotten to August, where you start to expand that palette of tropical development out a little bit. So suffice it to say that looking toward the tropics, while we are nice and quiet, could there be something developing out here? The Hurricane Center has not yet highlighted it. Actually, sugar, they just did. 20%. See, I didn't even get the darn graphic. I missed it. Oh, I hate that. Hold on a second. Burris. There. You idiot. Okay, so now the Hurricane Center has highlighted it. So, 20% chance the Hurricane Center has. I missed it. How did I do that? 20% chance that something tries to get going out that direction. Low end, but it's along that frontal boundary. This stuff happens. The good news when this happens is that it is usually very weak. It is usually quickish. It's right near land, not a big deal. Okay, but it's something that we're monitoring. All right? So I could tell you, tropically speaking, models are hinting at this. If you watched, and I will be doing this each day these next couple of days, you know, we will be tracking the tropics at 6 a.m. in addition to Coffee Talk, okay? But here's a look. This is the 60. This is the brand new model run of Futurecast, okay? And let me bring it full screen for you. If you look top left, GFS 0.25 initialized 6Z, 10 July 2022. So that's today. Perfect. Okay, great. Hour 0, that's initialization. So let's just run through. And what you're looking for is valid 3Z Monday the 11th. So that's the time when it's valid. So that's 11 p.m. tonight. All right, so let's roll through time. And you can kind of see the blues. A lot of that blue, what you're looking at there, that's just lowering pressure. That's the cold front itself, okay? The model's trying to show lowering pressure over Texas and Louisiana here. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, right there, right there, right there. You see that? You see that? That's the GFS trying to show something around NOLA. Now, what's interesting is it's slow, right? It's developing at 5 a.m. Monday the 18th, a week from now. That's Tuesday. Still in basically the same spot, okay? Now, that location doesn't necessarily line up with the floreaster, but if we were to just look at what the floreaster part of the pattern is, the floreaster part of the pattern is an area of low pressure that developed on November 6th and crossed the Florida Peninsula. Could it be a little shifted to the west or a little shifted to the east, a little shifted to the north or the south? Sure. But, you know, right now the model's trying to start to sniff it out. The timeline of this, by the way, just so that you know, the timeline on this part, what is that? That's November 6th. The timeline of this is, what did I say, July? Yeah, so it's like the 20th, 21st is when it's timed out on the LRC. That's the 17th, so we're kind of in that vicinity. Now, that's not the right location, but we'll see. Maybe this isn't that part of the pattern. Either way, though, that's the GFS. Let's come around. Let's reset this. Let's look at the new European. All right. There's the front and all that moisture. That's as far as the 6Z goes for now, but we can switch over to the 0Z. That's Friday, July 15th. Little piece of energy off the coast of Louisiana and Texas, and then kind of wandering back over toward Texas. Now let's do this. Let's come over and let's look at some of the ensembles together, okay? The ensembles are definitely showing, first off, they're showing lows. You see those little circles? This is the 17th on Sunday. So the European ensembles are just trying to figure out, there's something trying to develop along the Gulf Coast. They don't really know exactly where. The majority of them are around Louisiana right now, but you can kind of see there's a bunch of them there. If we look at the GFS ensembles, there's not a ton. There's not a big indicator of anything. Yeah, there's not a strong signature, but you could definitely see Florida, Louisiana, and then right there, Louisiana. So they're starting to sniff something out. We'll see how this plays out, of course. You know, there's nothing set in stone. And I always like to remind you, especially this time of year, computer models are guidance, not gospel. Guidance, not gospel. Okay, and we're due. I mean, you know, we are due, and I'll get to your questions and your comments here in a minute. We're due for tropical activity because we're actually running, and as I mentioned this briefly, but thus far this year, we have only had 3.25 named storm days. In other words, days with a named storm in the Atlantic Basin. 30-year average up to today's date is 4.3, so we're actually behind average. And compared to last year, where there were 14 named storm days through today. So we're definitely running a little behind average. All right, so there's that. Carolyn's asking 20% in what time frame? 20% over the next 5 days' time for tropical development out here. Yeah, so 20% low-end chance over the next 5 days' time as this front, excuse me, as this front kind of sags to the south and just kind of hangs out down that direction. All right. Let's see. Questions, comments, concerns. Carolyn says NOLA again. I mean, models are guidance, not gospel. They're sniffing something out. If I'm honest, my guess is that this probably kind of wanders out into the Gulf of Mexico and then eventually kind of wanders its way over Florida as a weak something because it loosely fits the floreaster pattern. So I'm curious if this is the floreaster. We'll see, right? There's plenty of time to watch it. Kim, good morning. I moved to North Carolina, so not going to be here as much. Wesh still has the best weather team in the business, though, so I'm popping in still, especially during hurricane season. Well, Kim, thank you for hanging out. Congratulations on your move. I hope that it was nothing but for great reason. Hopefully everything is good for you and your family. Beverly says, hope you make it to your conference. Me too. Look, I mean, as long as this isn't anything big, I think I should be okay. We'll see. We'll see. As long as no hurricanes hit on my birthday in the 14th, I'll be happy. Elliot, we'll hope so, right? Janice, can't believe it is mid-July already. I know, as we're talking about the Florida Easter and all these things, it's just wild, you know? It's just wild. Rose, no rain. Is Saharan dust affecting development of storms? Yeah, there's a lot of Saharan dust sitting in play right now. This is the Saharan dust layer, and so at least in the open Atlantic, it is a predominant weather influencer, right? Not as much in the Gulf of Mexico, but there is a lot of Saharan dust in the open waters of the Atlantic there. Yeah, for sure. But where's that graphic? Nope. There we go. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, that's what we're looking at. Let's see here. The Gulf Coast should not be developed, should be left natural for a fire. Well, Yukon, I mean, yeah, there's that. Bobby, what about August storms? So on my long range forecast for the month of August, the 8th and the 9th I put in there. That's the Alex recycle. I put it in kind of transparency because it's not a main part of the pattern, but it's there. So I put that in there. But for August, I would say the main threat for August is going to be late August. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at, is late August as the main part of the weather pattern for that month. All right. Keep finding this graphic. There it is. Okay, so low chance of tropical development, but it's there. It's something to watch. Eric, you're the best. We're near the area and your forecasts are the most. Well, thank you, Kristen. Welcome to the area. Where'd you guys move from? Annie says, summer's going too fast. I know. Listen, nobody knows that more than teachers. My wife, being one of them, is like, we have this week. I'm in Boston next week for a weather conference, and then that's it. How do they come up with the list of names for tropical storms? So the World Meteorological Organization does it. There's a main list, and then now there's a secondary list because we don't do the Greek alphabet like we used to. Let's see here. Debbie says, heading to Magic Kingdom today, meeting up with a friend who I've not seen in ages. Oh my gosh, that sounds like so much fun. While we're just yentering it up, by the way, I do want to pop up the 7-day forecast, just so that we've got that there as well. We've talked tropics and all that fun stuff, but just want to make sure that that's taken care of as well. Summer can't go fast enough. Jessica says, bring on fall. There's always, yeah, I mean, there's always that too. You know what? I try to honor every single season for sure. I try to honor each one for what it offers, for what it brings to the table, you know? What dates do you consider to be late August? Stephanie, I showed them. Like the 26th, 27th, and 28th is the timeline that I've got highlighted for the October 11th part of the weather pattern, which focuses on the east coast of Florida. Yeah. All right. Good times. Have a great day to you, Marie. The older you are, the faster time goes by. I find that so true, Arnett. Patty says we had a nice thunderstorm in Palm Coast yesterday, over 2 inches. If we had gotten out of the pool of lightning and get too close, we even came inside from the lanai for a while. My knees painfully suggesting we might get a repeat today. Oh, yeah. Yep, I could agree. How much rain did I get at my house yesterday? It was pouring when I went to bed. Let's see. at my house, we got 0.99 inches, just 1/100th of a degree, or 1/100th of an inch shy of an inch. How funny. Enjoy watching this. Oh, going back to Boston, have fun. Victoria, yep, gonna head to Boston to do the weather conference, which is, I was just reviewing the breakout sessions. Yeah. The first session is at 9 a.m. on Tuesday, July 19th. It's from 9 a.m. to 9:25, the future of broadcast weather. I love this stuff. I'm so excited about this stuff. I love it. Seeing about new technologies. It's going to be a very fun conference. And I'm going to take pictures and I'm going to share the information that I learn along the way with you as well. I look forward to that. Victoria, WCVB was the station we watched in Boston. Victoria, I have every intent to visit WCVB when I'm up there. I have every intention to visit Channel 5 Boston. Say hello to my friends up there. Jean says, summer used to feel so long as a child, then some adult bursts your bubble and says summer is only a few months long. I agree. Summer used to feel like an eternity, and here we are. You know, the wife's almost having to go back to school. It's almost back. I could tell you Kellyanne and the entire morning team here are working on their back to school special. It's craziness. Crazy. Crazy. Not me again on YouTube. Good morning from St. Augustine. Good morning to you. Bruce says 2 1/4 over in Oviedo. Good gravy. Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. What's the radar looking like now? Just some showers over on the west coast. Kind of coming on in around Marion County. Nothing too bad. Yeah, just some showers around. But it does let us know that we're getting more and more rains earlier today. Armand was thinking about purchasing a weather station. Any suggestions? I get no kickback on this. I have no ownership in the company, but I can tell you that I have purchased a Weather Flow Tempest. It's, I think, one of the most affordable and yet technologically advanced weather systems. It's the best that I've ever seen. Weather Flow Tempest. I love it. Nikki, Eric, you, Gary, and Jeremy are the future of broadcast weather. Oh, you're so funny. Thank you. Thank you very much. Elon builds a robot to forecast. Yeah, you're probably right. But it's, you know, I think that it's more of a roadmap for graphics. And this is a computer conference. So this is one of our vendors, the computer that's on that screen there. This is that vendor talking about their product roadmaps and all of this. So this is not, yeah, Jeffrey, will the LRC be a topic at the Boston conference? This is not that. This is not a meteorological conference in terms of the science. This is more the meteorological vendor talking about their computer system, tips, tricks, you know, new things, lots of like roadmap stuff. So it's a lot of neat stuff like that. Let's see here. The back to school commercials will also kill the summer vibes. I know it. Is the magazine Wind and Weather still in business? I don't know. Let's see here. Norman says, I second the Tempest. Yeah. John says the ambient WS 5000. Oh, you're going the ambient weather route. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Chris is talking about, this old guy did over 9 miles walking around SeaWorld yesterday and rode all the roller coasters. Look at you, Mr. Pierce. I'm impressed. You did it. How much time left?
A minute 50.
Okay, a minute 50. All right. Gene says, like a CES for weather people. Well, this is there are two main vendors. WSI, the weather company based in Boston. That's who we use for our main graphics. And then there is Barron, which Barron is this one that we use for our live radar severe weather coverage stuff. So this year I'm going to Boston for WSI, and next year I'll probably end up in Huntsville doing Barron. I'm going to try and go to alternate. I'm going to go to one a year. Maybe I can get to go to two a year. That'll be something I'll work on. All right, we're a minute from TV, and today is what we call Seamless Sunday, which means there's no commercial break, which means I got to run. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you so much for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I will see you guys and gals throughout the day on the Twitter world. I will be posting certainly updates on the tropics, and also, just a reminder, 6 a.m. tomorrow. Since there's something to track, we will be tracking the tropics at 6 a.m. tomorrow. All right? Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Bye, y'all.